In a world where power was usually inherited through bloodlines and noble families, the Ottoman Empire developed a system that challenged traditional ideas of status and privilege. Rather than relying solely on aristocratic birth, the empire increasingly emphasized ability, loyalty, and service to the state. Through institutions such as the Devshirme system, talented individuals from non Muslim backgrounds were recruited, educated, and elevated to the highest military and political positions. This focus on merit over birth became one of the Ottoman Empire's most distinctive features and a key reason for its long lasting strength. From its early expansion, the Ottoman state faced a critical problem common to all empires: how to ensure loyal and competent leadership across vast territories. Many contemporary states depended on hereditary nobles whose loyalty was divided between the crown and their own family interests. The Ottomans, wary of this risk, sought a different solution. They aimed to build a ruling elite that owed its position entirely to the Sultan and the state, not to inherited privilege. This approach took formal shape with the Devshirme system, introduced between the 14th and 15th centuries. Under this system, boys from Christian families in the Balkans were periodically selected by the state. These youths were taken into imperial service, converted to Islam, and given rigorous education and training. While modern perspectives often focus on the coercive aspects of this practice, within its historical context, it functioned as a structured path to social mobility that was almost unimaginable elsewhere at the time. Once recruited, these individuals entered a carefully designed system of education. The most promising students were trained in the palace schools, where they studied administration, law, languages, military strategy, and court etiquette. Others were trained for service in the Janissary Corps, the empire's elite infantry force. Advancement was based on performance, discipline, and loyalty, not family background. The results were striking. Many of the empire's most powerful grand viziers, generals, and administrators came from Devshirme backgrounds. They rose from humble village origins to positions that effectively governed the empire. As grand viziers, they commanded armies, negotiated treaties, managed finances, and implemented imperial policy. Their authority sometimes rivaled that of the Sultan himself, a testament to the trust placed in their abilities. This merit-based system strengthened the state in several ways. First, it ensured a steady supply of highly trained officials who were selected for competence rather than noble birth. Second, it reduced the influence of hereditary aristocracies that might challenge central authority. Because these officials owed their status entirely to the Sultan, their loyalty was firmly tied to the stability of the empire. The military benefited enormously from this approach. The Janissaries, recruited largely through Devshirme, became one of the most disciplined and effective fighting forces of their time. Unlike feudal armies dependent on noble levies, the Ottoman military was professional, salaried, and centrally controlled. This gave the empire a decisive advantage in warfare and contributed to its rapid expansion across 3 continents. Merit over birth also influenced civilian administration. Ottoman bureaucracy was structured to reward experience and performance. Officials moved through ranks based on service records, and incompetence could lead to removal regardless of status. This created a culture of accountability that, for centuries, kept the machinery of government functioning effectively. For non Muslim communities, the system presented a complex reality. On one hand, families lost children to state service, a process that could be painful and disruptive. On the other hand, the system offered a rare path to power and prosperity for individuals who would otherwise have remained on the margins of political life. Many families recognized that service to the state could bring long-term security and influence, even if it required profound personal change. The Devshirme system also reinforced the empire's broader philosophy of integration. By incorporating individuals from diverse ethnic and cultural backgrounds into the ruling elite, the Ottomans created a leadership class that reflected the empire's diversity. This helped bridge gaps between center and periphery, making imperial rule more adaptable and informed. Compared to European states of the same era, the Ottoman system stood in sharp contrast. In much of Europe, political and military leadership remained firmly in the hands of hereditary nobles. Social mobility was limited, and talent often went unused due to rigid class structures. The Ottoman model, while far from modern equality, allowed ability to override origin in ways that were revolutionary for its time. Over the centuries, however, this system began to weaken. By the late 17th century, the devshirme gradually declined. The Janissaries became hereditary, political favoritism increased, and merit based promotion was replaced by patronage and corruption. As positions once again became tied to birth and influence, the efficiency of both military and administration suffered. The decline of meritocracy had serious consequences. Military defeats increased, administrative discipline eroded, and the state struggled to reform itself in a rapidly changing world. Ottoman leaders recognized these problems and attempted reforms in the 18th and 19th centuries, aiming to restore professionalism and merit based advancement. While some progress was made, it was not enough to reverse the empire's long term decline. Despite its eventual breakdown, the legacy of merit over birth remains one of the Ottoman Empire's most remarkable achievements. For centuries, the empire demonstrated that loyalty and talent could be cultivated beyond traditional elites. This approach helped maintain strong central authority, professional governance, and military effectiveness across a vast and diverse realm. The end of the empire in the early 20th century closed this chapter of history, but its lessons remain relevant. The Ottoman experience shows that states built on competence rather than lineage can achieve stability and longevity. By prioritizing merit over birth, the empire created opportunities that reshaped lives and strengthened institutions, leaving a lasting imprint on the regions it once ruled. In the broader story of the Ottoman Empire, the Devshirme system and merit based governance stand as powerful reminders that innovation in leadership can be as decisive as innovation on the battlefield. For nearly 600 years, this principle helped transform a frontier state into a global empire and kept it standing long after many of its rivals had disappeared.